Hey everybody, I'm Hamza Krumza, and today we'll be looking at a very effective Siege Monk Rush build using the Aztecs. The Aztecs are a very powerful civ that excels with their strong monks and versatile barracks. When executing this build cleanly, I believe that it is one of the strongest builds on Arena and can be pulled off even at the highest level of play. Hope you enjoy. Now, usually when I say that a civ is good for a specific build, I'll point out a single civ bonus that gives them the edge and helps them through the build. That being said, for this strategy, the Aztecs have literally every single one of their bonuses contributing to the effectiveness of the build. Their villagers carry +5 resources, which will help with the lean early game economy. Military units creating 10% faster is great for eagles. Monk with +5 HP per upgrade helps their durability versus those pesky scouts. And +50 gold will help ease the feudal castle transition, and of course, relics generating 33% more gold is one of the best team bonuses in the game. Combo this with a strong Blacksmith, Monastery, and Siege Workshop, and you're looking at a 1v1 powerhouse. To be quite frank, the civ might be too strong, which explains why some of the devs are paying a little bit more attention to balancing the civ, but at the end of the day, their mobility suffers just because they don't have a stable. Now, I want to get into the build, but as a note before we start, this build seems to be everywhere from AoE Zone to Reddit, so I don't know exactly who to credit for the Siege Monk push, but I would definitely check out Hera's video of this build if you want to see a pro execute the strategy. With that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so let's go. Let's build our 2 houses right off the bat, and we are going to go and scout with our llamas, and we're going to use our eagle to just float around there, and we are going to go to actually scoop up some of the other sheep that are here. We're going to delete our walls, and this left wall is looking a little bit shady, so I'm not going to delete that just yet. That wood line is quite skinny, so there's a possibility there's an opening, and if there is an opening, and if any devs are watching this, please fix Arena. The map generation here is rather scandalous in how skimpy the tree lines actually are. But what we're going to do here, we're going to put our first 7 population over onto our sheep, just as we normally would. Now, important to note when you're playing Aztecs, and just as a general rule of thumb as Aztecs, you're always going to have to actually do a forced drop-off of your food, just because they actually do carry that extra 5 resource. So, as much as it is a civ bonus and it's very strong, it does cause a little bit of awkwardness in the beginning. So now that we're at our 8th villager or 8 population, we're going to send the villager over to wood, and that's how our next 4 villagers are going to go. And now that we have a little bit downtime, I guess it's kind of important to talk about why this build is so strong. So this build is really effective because of 2 things. One, you can get up to Castle Age in a very quick time, so we're going 25 + 2. So your map presence and your aggression out for the relics can be contested very early. The other thing is as well is that your main military unit, which is going to be your Eagle Warrior, is primarily focused on gold. So if we can focus on a lot of the relics, and if we can get a good gold economy going at home, we don't have to actually focus so much on food, and that kind of limits our economy down to only 2 resources, wood and gold. And if we're only working off wood and gold, then we can create a really strong siege push, because that's what the Siege Workshop relies on. And we can also build continually out of our barracks, because 20 food in the grand scheme of things is nothing. Also, we don't need too many farms for constant villager production, and Aztec farmers are really good because of the extra carry capacity. Now, we just loaded a Boar as we were following the instructions on screen, and we are going over to build a house. And now that we found all our sheep and we've done a little bit of scouting around our base, we're actually going to go lure the deer. Now, I specifically kept resetting this map until I saw that we only have 3 deer, because I wanted to, kind of pitch a worst case scenario for Arena. Now, there's a possibility that you start with 4 deer, and that makes this build a lot cleaner. But, here we're going to start with the 3 deer and, kind of build around that. So, we're luring our deer as we should, and we're just going to keep pushing and pushing. And I'm actually not going to put any on berries, right? So, I would say you can kind of balance your economy as you'd like here. So you can push in your deer a little bit later and, send some of your villagers over to berries just for the fluidity of the build itself. But I generally prefer to push into my deer as soon as I possibly can. That's going to allow me to get out on the map and, be a little bit more aggressive with my scouting. And as in Meso's civilization, we only have a limited amount of time to actually go scout before the enemy hits Feudal. And once that happens, it's kind of bad news bears for us, because we do not want to contest a Feudal scout with a Feudal Eagle scout. Now, we're building a villager with our Berryville to actually maintain the population. And we are a little bit late on this Boar lore, but that's fine. So we're just going to bounce out, going to this deer there near our economy. Now, this initial food start is pretty much everywhere, right? Like, we're gathering some food here, getting some food there. The important thing is just that you have villagers on food for those first populations. And that's kind of how it generally is with Arena, but, just balance your food economy as you'd like. And if you feel there's too much crowding underneath the TC or something like that, then just send, 2 or 3 villagers over the berries and have them working pretty constantly from there. Now, we're building a second lumber camp over on the top there, as per the instructions. And what that's doing for us is it's going to actually help with our efficiency as the game goes on. Now, if you watch the video with Hera, he only builds 1 lumber camp, but I personally believe that was a mistake just because of how much bumping there's going to be, and he doesn't really refresh there. So long term, not the greatest plan maybe. But he was also maybe thinking about going boom that game, so it kind of made sense, I guess. That being said, we lay down 3 of our farms as we're starting to run out of food here, and we're going to send our 24 to 25 population over to gold, and we are going to click up right after that. Now, I know that my commenting has changed just a little bit, and I'm not reading exactly play-by-play as I normally would, because a lot of the feedback I was getting was, it was kind of redundant with the instructions on screen, so decided just to, be a little bit more fluid here. That being said, the reason why we're sending 2 villagers to stragglers here is so that we have 10 on wood, and we just want 10 on wood as we go up, because we want to be able to be versatile with where we place our barracks, as well as our market and our blacksmith. Now, going forward on this replay, I am going to make a little bit of a mistake here, and I'm actually going to not build a house as quickly as I should have, and it's going to hurt just a little bit. But we're going to corner the scout here. Pop. Okay, that's fine. Now, honestly, in a real game and not against the extreme AI here, we would probably not be getting these trades. Or actually, let me just rephrase that. We would definitely not be getting these trades with a scout. And, the scout would just be exploring, and we would just be exploring. And at this time, honestly, we'd probably be going back inside of our base, because we don't want to corner ourselves or, get caught out with our Eagle Scout and, just lose a scout for free. And it just always kind of sucks. So as we advance here, we're going to build a market with our 2 villagers that were on stragglers. We're going to build a blacksmith with one of the villagers that was on gold, and we're going to send all new villagers from now on over to gold. So we're looking pretty good here. We're looking to be on track. There is going to be a slight delay here on the click up, just because we were missing that 4th deer, and that's 140 food that we would normally, already have access to. So we're going to have to do some balancing with the sheep, build a few extra farms, and honestly, 5 farms seems to be a pretty good amount for this build, and I've tested it a few times, and 5 farms seems to be the go-to. So we're going to do forced drop-offs, and okay, perfect. Now we're up to castle. So now that we're up to castle, we should actually go and build a barracks as soon as we can, so that we can actually start producing our Eagle Warriors, so that we can, get some presence on the map, as well as, control some of the relics. And we're going to do that. We're going to build 1 or 2 barracks. I found that, building 2 barracks can be pretty good. But if you do build 2 barracks, you're going to need those 2 lumber camps. If you go for 1 barracks, then maybe you should only do 1 lumber camp and then just switch over to gold a little bit earlier. We're going to transition some of our berry villagers over from food onto our gold. And we are going to get double bit axe when we can. Now, I should have gotten double bit axe as soon as I clicked up, or rather as soon as possible, but unfortunately I'm not a pro and do make some mistakes sometimes, and that is just one of them. So we are going to click up there and, or rather, we're going to click our double bit axe. Perfect. And at this point, we can make a few decisions, right? We can go and, build our second barracks and, get really strong map presence with a lot of eagles and really eliminate the possibility that any of our monks can get sniped or anything like that. And that's generally the approach I like to go. If your opponent is also going for any type of 1TC all in, then the 2 barracks eagles is going to be really beneficial for you. Now, on the way up there, we sold 200 stone, and we're building a monastery here as the second we go up. So we're going to build 2 barracks, we're going to build a monastery. Perfect. And we're going to build the monastery forward so that we can actually go and get out in and out the gate pretty quickly. And we are going to get more Eagle Scouts out, and we're going to make sure we get the Eagle Warrior upgrade. Okay, perfect. And let's refresh our farms. Okay, so we're doing good here. Now, you're always going to want to also be building some houses so that we don't get our pop capped. And we are out on the map, right? So look at this. It's a very fast castle time. So we're chilling at around 16 minutes right now that we have complete map authority, and we are looking really, really strong here. So we want to keep building houses with this forward villager, and we're controlling all the relics. And if he tries to go for one, or if he has a similar uptime, then he won't be able to get anything. Now, when our berries expire here, we're actually going to send those berry villagers over to, our gold. And one of the things that I did on the way up actually was I sold 200 stone. Now, you can delay selling that 200 stone so that your opponent can't really scout this per se. So, there's several builds that Aztecs can go in Arena, but this is obviously a pretty popular one. And one of the telltale ways that you can actually tell this is coming is you can look at the gold price in your market, and if it changed or if it's cheaper than normal, that means that the Aztec opponent sold gold, and that means that he should be doing some type of push on you. So we sold gold on the way up from Feudal to Castle, and it should be listed in the instructions, but I just want to talk about kind of why we did that. Now, what I like to do here is I like to get all the relics first and then go for the push. So that's kind of what we see here, and I think this simulates a real game much better than just going straight into the actual siege push. And it also kind of fortifies our position on the outside and helps us prepare if they're going for anything else. So this is definitely like the most versatile way to go about this. Another important thing I would say is, get your monks out first. And I know it's pretty tempting to go for Sanctity or one of those upgrades right off the bat just to get your monk HP up or get your monk speed up or whatever. But monks on the map at this point are more important than anything else. So just your map presence is what you need there. And if a scout comes, to be quite honest, 50 HP isn't going to make much of a difference, and you're pretty much dead anyways. So just protect your monks with your eagles and, be vigilant. So we are building our siege workshop forward, and once that siege workshop is actually built, we are going to have our ram built out of here. Now, you can build a mangonel, but I really don't like that. I really like going for the ram here, and what we would do is we're actually going to research redemption, and that way if your opponent builds a mangonel to go and address your battering ram, then that's fine, right? Then we can just go into the redemption and go and convert their mangonel. So we can garrison some eagle warriors inside the mangonel, and we're just pumping out as many monks as we can, and we can control group the monks, create them 2, 3, 4, just so we can get those quick conversions. And we're doing pretty good here, right? So we're going to build some houses. We're going to build another monastery maybe out here. And this is kind of where the build ends, and I think the fluidity of how you approach the game after this is kind of up to you. But this is just to show you, like, okay, we can go build this forward siege workshop, you know, take all the relics, you know, have that 33% generation, you know, working in our favor, and really be strong here. Now, one of the things, and one of the comments I'll say that before we actually stop the video is, if you're having trouble balancing your economy, look at your gold. You have so much gold and, you know, so much flexibility with this gold that you can just go and buy your resources. So if you're falling really behind, you know, just buy your resources. Don't buy them so much that your opponent starts getting, you know, great value out of their trades at the market. But, you know, do abuse the market there just a little bit. So we're gonna do some conversions, and you can start scouting with or raiding with these eagles and being really annoying. He probably has like knights or long swords or whatever, but it doesn't matter because you're gonna have your monks. He can have, you know, siege. It doesn't matter because you have your monks. You can go, even honestly, if he has some forward production buildings at this point, you can even go and convert them. So this build is extremely deadly, extremely annoying, and I think it might even just be a little bit too strong. If you were to counter this build, I would say, you know, if you recognize that the gold is sold there a little bit early, or rather the stone is sold there a little bit early, then, you know, shift into full military, because you are in for a hell of a ride. That being said, one of the other things as well is on the corners, once your opponent senses this, one of the common reactions is to actually go and wall and create an inner wall. You can prevent this by actually just using your monks, right? So if your opponent is trying to create that inner wall using houses or stone walls or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just put your monks pretty close to the wall, try to convert the villagers as they try to make that wall, and they'll never be able to get it up. So with all that being said, you know, I really hope you guys enjoyed the build. You know, going forward, I really would like to, you know, keep these coming out a little bit more constant, and you know, get these builds out a little bit quicker, maybe 2 videos a week. I'm also thinking about shifting into some more, you know, just like here and there content, like, you know, top 10 lists and that type of thing. But that's, you know, soon to come. So just to wrap it all up, you know, I hope you guys really enjoyed the build. Check out the link in the Discord below, and, you know, hope you have a great time. And we'll create a Sodom Warrior just before we go. Well, it's in production. We'll cut it here. It's a little bit too long now. Alright, guys. See ya. See you on the next video. Bye.